This is Let's Talk Tribe, the official Let's Go Tribe podcast, episode 63, recorded on March 6, 2017. I am your host, Matt Lyons, and in this week's episode, we're ready to talk spring training. We got some free Yandy discussions, Tyler Naquin's injury, our worst AL Central fears, and of course, your questions. Joining me today to help tackle all this spring traininess is Let's Go Tribe writer Merritt Rolfing.
Also, evidently, to learn how to talk, Matt. Hello. It's nice to be here.
Anyway, Merritt's off the podcast now. He's no longer allowed on.
And okay, it was a great show. I'll see you guys later.
And also a special guest host, our spring training correspondent. If you're on Facebook Live now, you've probably seen her a couple other times. Brittany Fowler.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Yep. So let's just talk spring training. Brittany, you're the only one who's there. I think as long as spring training goes, if you're there, that's the only reason to be excited. So has it been fun being down there? Is this your first time seeing any spring training?
It is. It's my first time ever being to spring training, ever. So it was pretty, I can't say it was awesome because the only two games I went to, we lost. But the whole experience was actually really great.
Yeah, one of those was the ones where, wasn't it the blowout that you went to? Either one or the other way? No, one of them was a blowout and the other one was too.
Yeah. Well, the Rockies. I went to that game. That was on Friday against, the Rockies. Sorry. I'm like keeping all my notes together so I can make sure I'm on the right page with everybody. Obviously that game was really hard to watch. And it's funny too because actually my boyfriend is in the Rockies minor league organization. So I was there and I was like full decked out in my Indians gear, but he's always on the side like, what are you doing?
Just don't look him directly in the eye.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was my first time to Goodyear Park. Definitely my favorite park so far, not just because I'm an Indians fan. But obviously Carrasco, Miller, and Logan, they were pitching. Ooh, just a second, my light just went out. Carrasco, he allowed 4 runs on 6 hits in 1 1/3 innings. That was ugly. Miller, he allowed 2 runs on 3 hits. And then Logan allowed a 2-out grand slam in the 4th. But of course, Ursula came back and kind of responded to that with his own grand slam. And Naquin, he hit pretty well, but I'd have to admit, it was really nice to see Zach McAllister come in and pitch that 2 1/3 innings, and he retired all 7 of the batters he faced. So on a bright note, that was nice to see. But that was not a pretty game to watch.
So Merritt, I'll turn it over to you. How worried are we about this? Does this mean the season's over and we should just pack it in? No reason to watch anymore? Indians are done?
Well, it's obviously all false because Zach McAllister is pitching well. But no, I don't know. They were saying, everything I read was that Carrasco at least was just, I don't know, knocking a little bit of rust off. So, again, it's so hard to get too worked up about any of this. Really, I am curious to hear more about how Boone Logan looked. I think he's going to be of vital importance in 2017 during the actual season. But how close is that to that airplane graveyard?
It's pretty close.
Pretty close? God, that's the part I'm most fascinated by is that airplane graveyard. Just because of that scene, I guess, in Con Air.
Yeah. No, it's actually really close.
Man, it's so cool. It's so weird that they just do that with airplanes. Anyway, I'm not worried about anything that happens to these pitchers at all, unless their arm falls off. Yeah.
So sort of speaking of that, Brittany, one of the games you went to was Danny Salazar's start, right?
Yes. So that was Thursday.
Did you notice anything with him? Does it look like, I know it's the first start, so who cares, but.
Right. It was his second start of the spring, so it's kind of hard to sit there and really judge him off that. But to be honest, he struggled a lot with his control. He walked 3 and gave up 1 run in just 2 innings. And so it was not the best from him, but then again, it's early in the spring. You can't really say who's going to be doing well come, May, June.
Is there a difference in quality of like umpire that you've noticed in the games you watched so far? Obviously it's all the same guys pretty much, but I didn't
really notice anything as far as the umpires. It all seemed the same.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't seem any worse or any better. Yeah.
Yeah, I got nothing else. Yeah.
It's hard to. We're in like the second week of spring training already, and I'm so ready for it to be over. I think I've said this every week that we talked about spring training, but I want real baseball now. I don't want the WBC. I want the Indians playing games that matter and Boone Logan not getting shelled by the Rockies. That's really all I want.
The World Baseball Classic does matter. Don't you care about your Rockies?
Not at all. I don't want any. I saw who was it? Tyler Krieger for the Israeli team. I think he had like 2 walks. He had the first walk of the whole tournament technically. So there's that, and then he was like 0 for 5. Other than that, so the Indians are off to a great start in the WBC. As long as nobody gets injured, I don't care. But one important thing out of spring training that might come up more is the free Yandy movement. Everybody seems to love Yandy Diaz so far. Not to put too much emphasis on numbers, but he has 2 for 9. He has 2 doubles already and 5 walks, that's just going to be what he does, I think. Francona has been a big fan of his so far. He said he's an advanced hitter. He controls the strike zone. I mean, I want Yandy to come up. Almost every Indians fan does. So Merritt, is he going to come up? Is this it? Is he going to have a big enough spring training, you think?
I just don't think there's room for him. I mean, so many things would have to go wrong for him to get called up. We said this also about Naquin last year, and everything did go wrong for him, or for him to get called up. Mm-hmm. So I don't want him to get called up only because that means that Michael Brantley's not going to be playing baseball for the Indians in the regular season. But I don't see why not. It sounds like he's just a poor man's Edgar Martinez, and that's pretty good, right? Let's just get an Edgar Martinez on the team. Why not?
Why not? Sure. Did you get a glimpse of him at all down there, Brittany?
No, I didn't really get a good glimpse of him, but I'd have to agree with you, Merritt, because I think his bat's ready. I think the same thing though. They don't know where to put him, and Francona said the same. I mean, he's saying he's either going to be bouncing around from left field to right field to third base, and I did notice that Francona did say that right now he sees him in the minors come April. So I don't know. I mean, I would love to see him up there with the team, but if that means that it's only because someone's injured or something like that happens, I don't know. But right now, I think we'll probably see him in the minors.
Is there any chance?
Does he have a real position too? I mean, I know he's kind of a theoretical corner outfielder, third baseman, but it sounds like he's all those things based on bat only. So does that? Do any of you guys, either of you guys really feel like that's a player they just have such a logjam with the first base DH, left field kind of position? It just seems like he doesn't have space on the team. I'd almost want them to trade him in some way, but I mean, how do you trade a minor league, a 25-year-old minor leaguer like this? I don't know.
As far as I know, he came up as a third baseman. They put him in left field basically out of necessity because they have so many third basemen in AAA, and I mean, there's Giovanni Urshela, and then obviously in the majors they needed a left fielder more with Brantley injured, so he's a third baseman.
I mean, Carlos Santana came up as a catcher too, though. So
yeah, that worked out great. So.
What does that mean?
So do you think maybe he will be traded? Is that a thing that could happen? I mean, he is just a prospect who has a lot of upside, or not a ton of upside, but he's almost ready now. So
I thought he was older, to be quite honest with you.
You thought he was older than 25?
Yeah, I thought he was like 28 years old. I don't know why, but I picked. I think I'm confusing with someone else who was like 32 and hitting well for the Indians last year. I don't know.
Like Jesus Aguilar in the minors, but
maybe. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah,
don't put that on Yandy. He's not Jesus Aguilar.
I could see them using him as a trade pick only because I mean I don't know where they would put him.
Yeah,
he has a great bat, but I mean we have great bats in the lineup that we aren't putting in the field as well. So
yeah, and if they're in position to trade him, they're probably going to be pretty good because then they'll have Brantley playing, and because they would have to be pretty sure about Brantley to trade Yandy Diaz, I think. Because if they don't, like, who do they have him left? It's just going to be Geyer and I know Merritt. You love Abel Monte, but he's not great.
Oh, he's going to be the starting center fielder, of course. He's going to play 150 games in center.
So yeah, hopefully he won't be traded. I'm excited to see him. If anything, just because I like seeing prospects come up. I don't think he'll be like the next 7-time All-Star prospect like some people might think, but I think he's going to be good, and you can't ask for much more out of a prospect than just being pretty good at least one position.
Right.
Now I'm going to start Googling Edgar Martinez. How did he get called up?
So speaking of center field, the lesser half of Merritt's dream scenario of Abel Monte in the center field would be Tyler Naquin. Yesterday he took a ball off the foot. It seemed kind of scary at first. Obviously I didn't see the game happen, but one person on Twitter said he was carted off. He at least limped back to the dugout I saw. And it turns out today it was just a foul ball off his foot. No structural damage, just some bruising and swelling. That's about it. He's going to be out a couple days as that recovers. So
yeah, unfortunately I wasn't able to see that game, but I was seeing the same stuff. But like they said, the X-ray came back negative, so
Yeah, just a quick reminder that baseballs are really hard and really fast, and and not everybody can be Brandon Guyer and just take a ton of baseballs and be okay.
Right.
So, Merritt, would you have been worried if he was out, if that was a big injury? Do you think that's a huge blow to the Indians there?
Changing the subject completely. Edgar Martinez broke out when he was 27 years old, so maybe they should hold on to Yandy Diaz. But back to Naquin, I don't want him to be hurt at all. No, I adore watching that kid play. We need to see if he can learn how to hit a fastball up in the zone, of course. But I think that would be a bit of a crushing blow to them. It might have opened the door for Zimmer, but even with him, I don't think even if he had gotten hurt, I don't think we'd see Zimmer until what? What's the date on that? Like April 17th, I think, is when you end up being able to get an extra year out of him or something like that.
Yeah, even then, he's got to show he cannot strike out 30% of the time.
Well, he's not doing that so far. I don't think he's only striking out like 30% of the time, so that's 7% less.
Spring training.
Yeah, and he's hitting bombs too. So what more do you want? I mean, look, either it all matters or it all doesn't. I need to pick one or the other, so I'm deciding to pick. I guess I'll just nickel and dime my way through this, but I hope Nathan's okay. He needs as much time on the field as he can get because he needs to learn how to hit a fastball up in the zone. But I'm really on this Edgar Martinez thing now. I have an article to write for Thursday. Perfect.
Is this going to be your comparing Yandy Diaz to Edgar Martinez article? Is this what's happening right now?
Oh, yes. Yes, you're watching it become born. Yes, this is its birth.
This is the birth of the article. So, Brittany, when would you want, regardless of an injury, so what are your opinions on when Zimmer should come up? Do you want, like, just right away, you think, or does he need some time in the minors?
If we're getting to that, Austin Jackson or Bradley Zimmer, I don't know. It was such a I couldn't decide on that one. I think he needs more time in the minors, honestly.
Yeah.
I think Jackson's gonna be. I just hear Francona talking a lot, saying a lot of really good things about Jackson, and then of course he's cleared to play tomorrow.
Yeah, and he hasn't even played yet. He's already getting the compliments. That's good.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think Zimmer needs to stay down at least a little bit in the minors. But like I was saying, if we're comparing Jackson and Zimmer, I'd have to go with Jackson on that one.
Yeah, and not to put my own article out there and advertise it, but the one I wrote earlier about the underrated moves. Like if there was one for the Indians, I would have said it was Austin Jackson. I mean, they signed Boone Logan and Encarnacion. Those were big, huge deals. But then I think adding Jackson, who was injured they added him on a minor league deal that it'll at least be like a $1.5 million deal if he makes it to the majors. That was a pretty good signing, I think. That's more of a typical Indian signing. Like any other year, that would have been their only free agent signing, which is terrifying to think of now. But, but yeah, I'm glad they got the other ones. But that's a really good move that I liked. And even if it doesn't pan out, it's one of those ones where they don't lose anything because he'll be gone and they didn't own much of anything.
Exactly.
So
I'd have to agree with you on that.
Getting around to our AL Central rivals, who are you guys most worried about? Brittany, we can start with you since I'm sure Merritt's researching his Edgar
City,
Martinez.
for sure.
Kansas City. I don't want to. No, just let them be bad. Why, Brittany?
I just don't. They have way too much. I mean, they've got to be good this year. I mean, they just have to for their own sake. But obviously, they're 1 year out from the last World Series, and I just think they're going to be our toughest contender.
Do you think it's one of those cases where if they're not a really tough contender or even leading division at midseason, they're going to sell completely and just spiral down from there?
So. Yeah, I mean, they have way too many players that, I just feel like if this has to be the year for them. And if it's not, then it's going to be a tough road the next couple of years for them.
Yeah, I kind of feel for Salvador Perez if that happens because he's signed for, another 5 years, and I'm sure he's going to be playing 160 games a year, so he'll be destroying his knees for a well under 500 team for a few years.
Yeah.
But still, he's on the Royals, so I don't feel that bad for him. But I don't want him to win.
True.
I am okay with seeing a Royals fire sale mid-season. So Mayor, what's yours?
All right. Well, I have 3 different levels of this.
Oh,
the first being, and I agree with Brittany in the kind of with the Royals. I just feel like they have too much kind of magic behind them. They're all that grit and grind kind of a team that's just very irritating to play. And I feel like they could once again completely outplay expectations and projections and somehow win like 86 games, just through piss and vinegar, pretty much. In terms of actual talented team, I'd say it's had to be the Tigers because they have a Cy Young, second place. They got Miguel Cabrera, who is very good. They have a ton of bats. Even if Ian Kinsler takes a step back, he's still the third best second baseman in the AL. They have the two young, very good pitchers. They don't have much of a bullpen because they're the Tigers, but they're definitely probably the only team that on paper looks dangerous. And then I just wanted to say the Twins because they're just an irritating team for the Indians to play. I feel like they're gonna have a winning record against the Indians, and they're gonna win 75 games total, but they'll go 12-6 against the Tribe, and you just go, why, how, why? And Byron Buxton's gonna hit 380 against them, and Joe Mauer will do his usual 315. He'll play like it's 2009 against them. That whole thing.
And Corey Kluber have a no-hitter going, and Joe Mauer will ruin it. Just to throw out a random, totally never happened scenario, but.
Oh yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't know who's even. I was talking about this team the other day, and I can't remember a single player on their pitching staff. So someone on their pitching staff is just going to be shut down against the Indians all year long.
No clue but who was that one that came up? He was really good against the Indians for a game and then kind of tanked. Was it Barrios? Was that his name?
It was one of the random garbage that just kind of plowed through there. It's ridiculous. Kyle Gibson's probably going to he'll probably throw 7 shutout innings twice against them. Phil Hughes will look good. No, that's going to be the most irritating team for them to play. But I think in real terms, it's the Tigers. In kind of magic of baseball terms, it's the Royals. And just being a bugaboo, it's going to be the Twins. I think it's just going to be a very irritating division for the Indians to win, even though they're going to win it by 10 games anyway.
Yeah. So my initial answer was the Tigers, just because I don't think the Indians are going to go, 15-4 or whatever crazy thing it was against them again. I don't remember exactly, but it's going to be a closer battle. Miguel Cabrera still exists. He's alive. There's a lot of good players still in the Tigers that are just old and they have to be healthy for a whole season. But my answer, I'll change it since Merritt stole it and just blatantly ripped off my answer. It's cool. No. I'm going to say the White Sox, just to throw it out there. They still have Jose Quintana. Listen,
I'm leaving.
They still have Todd Frazier, who maybe isn't completely horrible and awful.
He was the worst 40-year home run hitter ever. Ever, I think.
He still might not be terrible and awful this season. They have that one guy with the mustache.
Oh, Rondon.
Yeah. No, not Rondon. The second baseman.
Rondon has an amazing mustache. Oh, okay.
Rondon does have an amazing mustache. But they also have, some of those rookies, Moncada's going to come up. I just have a fear that at least one or more of them that got the trade is going to come up and then all of a sudden be really good. And they won't make the playoffs, but they're one of those teams who are right there at the end. And then we look back years later, how the hell did they do that? So at least there'll be enough to challenge the Indians, I think. But my real answer was the Tigers, but I'm okay with saying the White Sox too. And I would almost say the Royals. I just don't want to say the words that the Royals are going to be good. I don't want that to be out there. That's a real thought. Those 2 years were rough. I don't like the Royals anymore. It was fun when they were the team to beat up, I think.
See, I never liked them because I thought they were an embarrassment to baseball for so long, and then they got irritatingly good, and it was just very hard to deal with. It was confusing for all of 2015, and then 2014, and 2015 was just irritating. You guys think Justin Upton's going to be any good ever again?
Yes.
I know he was really good in the second half last year, especially in September, but how much of an albatross is that contract going to be for the Tigers going forward? A huge albatross or just kind of a big albatross?
For any other team, it would be huge, but for the Tigers, it's just another big contract. And I think he's going to be – he's just streaky. He'll be good in big chunks.
So streaky.
What do you think, Brittany?
I'd have to probably agree with you, Matt. I think he's going to be good in big chunks, but
at least not good enough to not sink the team.
Right.
He was so perfect last year, too, because he was just terrible until the team was out of it. And then he just had an 1,100 OPS in September.
Then he just got bored and said, I'll hit.
What a brilliant player. My goodness.
So any other opinions on the rivals that we should be completely scared of here? Is there any? Is there a real chance any of these teams are really going to catch the Indians?
I think the Tigers have a real chance to do it, yes. I think they're the only team that does because they do have the pitching still. In a very real sense, they do have enough bullets, I think, to catch up. I don't know about their bullpen, but their starting pitching, their top three if you wanted to squint at it for a while, you could probably talk yourself into it being nearly as good as the Indians. Assuming no growth from Trevor Bauer, of course. But I mean, Jordan Zimmerman can't be that bad again. Verlander is good again. Fulmer, they're going to get a whole year out of him. And then who was the other kid that they called up? Daniel Norris, I think. Yeah, Daniel Norris looked really good too. So I think in a very real sense, they could win 85, 90 games if everything broke right for them.
Yeah.
They just, I don't think Nick Castellanos is as good as his numbers suggest, but whatever.
So, how many would you think the Royals would get, Brittany? Was it a thing you really think the Indians will be afraid of him, or just because it was a question that was posed, kind of thing?
I don't know. I think, that's a really tough question. Probably just because it was a question, but I feel like the Royals have so much to lose. I don't know I just feel like I could see them having a really big year just because they have so many players on the line, and the organization just has so much that they need to do this year. And I mean, it can't be next year. It has to be this year. So I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot on the line for this team. And I just think that I think they'll pull something out this year. I mean, not that I want them to, but,
but it might happen. Yeah. They seem like the type of team based on the World Series wins that would be motivated just by that fact that this is their last year and they have their one big shot. So that's I think all of them. There's always going to be somebody. They're not going to run away with the division, so somebody will do it.
Yeah.
So next, we're going to head into social media questions. Every Monday, I always ask you guys on Twitter, Facebook. You can always email us. I remember the email now. It's sbnletsgotribe@gmail.com. So send your questions there. Shut up, Merritt. There is a letsgotribe@gmail.com, but I don't know who made it or who has the password. So through the little SBN at the beginning there, and it's our password now. So. If you email letsgotribe@gmail.com, I don't know who will answer you, but somebody will. It won't be us, but just add the S.
Ask them the password. Yeah.
Yeah, ask them the password. Or you can ask on Twitter and Facebook or message us. I don't know. Find a way to get a question here. We'll answer it on the show. The first one, since you're here, Brittany, or since you're down in spring training, I'll ask you on this one first. Summer of Clee, they want to know, or at Summer of Clee on Twitter, they want to know, does it seem like Yandy Diaz is disliked by Tito in the front office? He seems to not really be getting a fair shake.
Yeah, I'm not sure which way I lean with that because, I haven't seen or heard him say, a lot of great things about Yandy in that matter, but I just don't know because I think Francona's in a tough spot where it's just, where are we going to put him, you know? I don't think he's not getting a fair hand, but I think he's really just in a really tough spot because he has a great bat, but we really just don't have anywhere to put him on the field. So I don't think he's getting an unfair hand here. I think it's just he's just not lucky right now on our side.
Yeah, there's just no space for him. Yeah,
Right.
So you don't get a sense like the old knock on Tito that he relies too much on veterans. It's not that Tito doesn't like him. It's just that there's just no place for him. Like.
Right.
Michael Martinez is not taking his spot.
Him not liking him.
Yeah.
No, I think it's just simply put, there's just no room for him.
Yeah. Merritt, do you agree or are you wrong?
No, wait, what?
Do you agree or do you have a wrong opinion? Is what I'm asking.
I don't think Terry Francona doesn't like anyone. So I don't. Maybe I'm just projecting on him. I don't know. He just seems like the sweetest man on earth. So I just don't think that.
Straightforward with everyone too.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. He's a straight talker, and I don't know. There's too much joy just oozing out of him at all times for him to seem like he could ever hate anyone. So no, I think it's again, like Brittany said, there's no room for him. He can't play the field very well enough to take a spot from anyone who's already there. They don't want to start killing service time for him to be just a part-time player. And it's just, like I said, it's bad timing. I mean, maybe next year when Santana leaves, he'll have a place to go. And again, Edgar Martinez broke out at age 27, so he's got 2 years.
He still has time to be Edgar Martinez, man. It's going to happen.
Plenty of time.
But yes, I agree. It's not that Tito doesn't like him. It's just this is spring training. There's a lot of players competing for one thing, and it might happen. I can't imagine, now that you mention it, Tito being like, just imagine Tito being angry at you. How disappointed would you be in yourself
Like, he
If you
probably
made that
doesn't get
man
that.
angry.
He probably gets disappointed. He probably just like you feel bad that he's upset with you. You're like,
Yeah, he's like that parent, the parent that never screams. They're just like, I'm
Right.
just disappointed in your decision, and that hurts more.
I bet when you go in his office, he takes out his gum and just sighs and wraps it up and throws it away. He's like, listen, you're really bad out there. I mean,
like, who could he possibly have I'm trying to think of anyone ever in history could ever have a grudge against. Like, even when they played against, when he was with the Red Sox, and they played the Yankees, all the time, and those were just bitter fights. Like, he always seemed to be enjoying himself in the midst of it all. So
he's just a man who likes a scooter in his baseball. That's all.
He probably doesn't like John Henry, but it's probably about it. Or Larry Lucchino, any of the guys who own the Red Sox. I mean, that's fair. They ran him out of town.
I could see like Jason Kipnis like taking jokes too far and maybe upsetting him, but that'd be short term. He'd be like, "All right, we're back now."
No, kid, stop it.
Yeah.
Sorry,
it's like the kind of thing where like I lost the train of thought there, but yeah, I could see Kipnis maybe like pushing things. Maybe Lonnie Chisenhall, Lonald. Those two maybe get.
Oh, those two guys are tricksters. They have to be, right?
That's like the equivalent of a teacher scolding somebody. It's not angry. It's just
right.
Tito keeping things under control. Yeah. So our next question, at Chris Hawley 216, he wants to know more likely to make the opening day roster and why: Austin Jackson or Bradley Zimmer. Merritt, go ahead with this one.
I think the answer has to be Jackson, right? Zimmer, they don't want to kill service time. He's also just probably not ready. I mean, obviously he's going to hit bombs forever, and he's going to be amazing. But outside of that, I assume the answer has to be Austin. As long as his knee is okay, of course, and he's cleared to play tomorrow. So I assume it's by the time it's in post today. But yeah, he's more useful as a part-time player. You don't want to call up your top prospect to just kind of have him sit on the bench. It's a waste of time, and the kid needs to play anyway. So I'd say Jackson for all those reasons.
Yeah, for sure. And Brittany, we already kind of know your answer, I think, right?
Yeah, I kind of answered this earlier.
Yeah.
Like I said Jackson as well. I mean, Francona already said Diaz, Zimmer, and Greg Allen will most likely find themselves in the minors in April. So he's already thinking that. And then, I mean, like I said earlier, Francona's been saying all this nice and positive and flowery, fluffy stuff about Austin Jackson. So obviously he likes him a lot. I haven't heard a lot from Francona about Bradley Zimmer. So I'm going to have to go with Jackson.
Yeah. Is there any chance that neither of them do? I mean, I guess that's pretty high, right? If Naquin and Almonte can handle center.
And if Brantley comes back, yeah, there's just no. He'd be the fifth outfielder or the sixth. He'd be the
sixth.
Yeah, he'd be. Yeah, there's no space for 6 outfielders on a team, is there? I mean, even if they're going to platoon as much as they are.
Yeah, it's kind of hard when you platoon 2 positions to squeeze another outfielder in there, I think.
Yeah.
So the next one.
I had another point I wanted to make there. Oh yeah, what were they saying about Naquin last year? Because I feel like it's almost like it's Zimmer breaking out. Like I vaguely remember them saying he's not going to make the team, and then he did make the team. Because he had such a great spring last year too, didn't he? He
did. It was pretty much right up to the end where it was he's totally not going to make it. He's not going to make it. He's totally. I know Abe's suspended. He won't make it, but he just had such a great spring, and that's one of the few times where a lot of things broke right, and he had a good spring, and he got in.
Right. What we don't need is another suspension and another no Brantley, because that will lead to, I assume, Zimmer at some point, but or maybe Yandy Diaz. Ooh.
That'd be Diaz first, I think.
Yeah, probably right.
Or like Austin Jackson first, like Brittany said.
I mean, would you want the more advanced bat or the more advanced glove? I guess that's the real question. I think the Indians as a team could use the glove more, but you also don't want to have just a black hole in your lineup every other day or whatever.
So our next question is probably my favorite one. At 1920 and 1984, they ask, will Michael Martinez make the final out of every Indian season for the rest of my life? Probably and unfortunately.
Now, are they going to trade him to the Cubs and then he can make it out?
There we go.
I mean, it doesn't have to be on the Indians.
Brittany, what do you think? Is that going to happen? Every single Indian season is going to end with Michael Martinez dejected walking off the field.
Oh, I hope so.
Just on another team, right?
That'd be interesting.
How old is this man going to live to be? A 75-year-old man playing baseball. Jeez.
75-year-old Michael Martinez. He still plays second base occasionally. The Michael Martinez jokes we do. He's what?
People will still keep on saying, "Oh, he's a young prospect, right?" No, he's 72 years old. What's so young? What's going on here?
Yeah, I think he's like 33, but I always think he's younger because he's always been in the minors for so long.
Exactly.
I will say, for all the jokes we make about him, there was, I think I mentioned this before in the podcast, but the Clippers guys, they always said how good he was with prospects and stuff. Like, he's a good guy at working out with the players and helping them develop and work ethic and all that. It's just when he gets to the majors, he can't hit. So I'd rather have him in AAA for several reasons, including the fact that he's a good influence on players. Just don't ask him for, like, hitting tips or anything.
Didn't I write about that at some point? I feel like I wrote about that not too long ago, about how they shouldn't have him around, and was trying not to be mean at Michael Martinez, but
I don't think so.
Might have gotten a little bit mean. Maybe I didn't publish that one. I don't know.
Well, there you go. There's your Wednesday. After the Agnew Martinez, there's your next one. So the next one, Land Royalty, at Land Royalty on Twitter. They want to know how important is near 200 innings from Salazar and Cookie, since they have never done it before. Merritt, how important is it for Danny Salazar and Carlos Carrasco to get 200 innings or close to it somewhere?
I don't understand this question. Very important? I don't know. I just
Exactly.
Yeah.
Carrasco was going to hit 200 innings last year. He just got, first, he obviously had a ridiculous injury when he tripped over the base or whatever in May, and then he broke his wrist. Because he had, 180 something like that, right? 184, I think? Somewhere around there.
Close.
Yeah, so, no, he was going to hit 200. I don't think that's a big deal for him. Like, it's not like he's going to hit the Verducci wall, whatever it's called, where the huge spike in innings makes the guy suck suddenly.
Yeah.
As for Salazar, I do not think he's ever going to throw 200 innings in a season. No. I go back to my old standby of he's a tiny man who throws very hard. I just think that's not an equation that leads to 200 plus innings. Obviously, if he does it, then I am wrong, and that's the way things go a lot. But no, it'd be nice, but there's a reason they have depth too, and I think that's the reason they're going to be so good this year. It's not just the talent at the top, but it's the depth throughout that's going to carry. Yeah.
So what do you think, Brittany? Is there any reason it wouldn't be important, I guess?
In the same way, I was like, well, duh, yeah. It's the Indians, their starting pitchers need to be able to go deep in the game. That's you bring on starting pitchers to be able to go 6 or 7 innings. So, you want to try and save your guys in the pen as much as you can, but that's when the back of the pen becomes important too. You need your relievers to be able to come in and finish the job. So, obviously, yes, it's huge, but I don't know. I think I could see them both reaching 200.
Yeah, if that happens, we're in pretty good shape, I think, if that happens for both of us.
Oh yeah.
So, Banjo Jack in the comments. First of all, his first question, what are your thoughts on Yandy Diaz? I'm assuming that question just came in. What are you? Did you just turn it on? You've been here since the beginning, Banjo. I saw you commenting. We've talked about it the whole episode.
I think he means Edgar Martinez the second. That's who he's talking about, right? Yeah, okay.
But his other question that I really like is his last year's buzz phrase was "Party at Napoli's." What will this year's be? Is there any? It doesn't have to be a phrase. We won't limit it to that. But is there going to be any really big thing that catches on to that level? You guys think?
That's a good question.
I know. I like it. I want something else to happen like that because that was fun.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was very organic too, wasn't it?
It was. It was just Nate Crow. He held up a sign, and it just caught on Twitter. That was literally all it was.
First it was like Brohio.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it was Party at Napoli's. Yeah, I don't know what's gonna come next.
Who's the biggest personality on the team at this point?
I guess it'd be like Lindorable, but that's just he's catching on. Maybe it won't be a catchphrase.
We got Grady back in the team
Grady's
a little
ladies.
bit, so Grady's ladies might be on their way back to Cleveland.
Thank God.
I mentioned that as a joke when the teaser when that news first came out, and I got I posed it does this mean Grady's ladies is back? And I got full responses. We never went anywhere. They are still around.
Awesome.
They're just lying in wait.
They're just in the bushes waiting, and they heard Grady Sizemore popped out.
I actually had no idea that he was back on, coaching with the team. I had no clue. And I was down there the other day, down at the spring training game, and I saw him walk by, and I was like, what? Wait, what?
Do you just watch baseball?
I was like, is that Grady Sizemore? And the guy's like, yeah. He's like, you didn't hear? And I was like, I had no clue.
That's cool. I'm assuming he'd be able to help Michael Brantley, unfortunately. This has happened before. Just don't
Yeah.
You
let the same thing happen to me.
you watch your tongue. Let's not go there at all.
But yeah, I don't know. I really like that question, but I can't think of anything top of my head.
I'm surprised nothing with Kipnis has really come about, because
I know,
Kipnis is pretty big in
Yeah.
That's what
on
I'm
our
trying to
team,
think
but I've
of.
never
But,
seen
like,
anything like.
He's such a stereotypical, like, just frat guy. No.
He's the Cleveland. He's an Indian. I know he's not Cleveland, but he's always the person I think of. Like, if I can name one player on the Indians who feels like he's just an Indian, he wouldn't fit anywhere else. It's Kipnis.
We've been over this, and I think he fit
And you're
perfectly
wrong.
in the south side of Chicago. I lived in that city for 3.5 years, and I met a lot of guys like Jason Kipnis. They were wonderful human beings. I'm just saying he fit in very well in Chicago because he's from there, obviously, but still.
Yeah.
But I don't know, but he's too. There's not enough to him. I don't know. He needs to grow a big beard first or something.
His beard is fantastic when he grows it. It's nice and
Oh,
trimmed.
it's quite strong, yeah. He's got a great chin line. So,
and I'm almost positive, just anecdotally, that when he shaves his beard, that's when he slumps.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's
There's your
that's
next
a solid
post,
fact.
man.
Come on.
Go through every game, find his beard, track how he's done. I want that written up by Saturday.
I will not do that, but I will keep a tracker house and make a new Twitter account for 2017.
But I think, Kipnis would be a good one, just because, despite how wrong Merritt is, he's such like the Indians person, I think.
I mean, I agree with you. I'm just saying he'd also fit in very well. You know, it's like I'd love to have Adam Eaton on the Indians, but he's perfect for Chicago. Also, he's like a little baby Paul Konerko.
So
think about this for days now.
Yeah. So the next question, I think, is mostly just for me. I don't think Brittany will have any idea what this one means. Merritt might. But at Pilot Nick, he wants to know, what are the chances of baby Luckhart being drafted by the 2034 Indians? So for anybody who doesn't know, the co-host is usually Jason Luckhart, but he's out now. I actually don't know if his wife has had the baby yet. She was like 39 weeks last week, so maybe he has and he just went silent. But either he is or he will be soon a parent. So he's busy with that stuff. And so what would 2034 be? How old would the baby be?
He'd be a year older than...
He'd be 27. Right?
No, he'd be a year older. No, he'd be like 18 or something like that.
No, what? Oh. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Yeah, dude, math. Come on.
Math is hard. It'd be like 19. Yeah,
he'd
there's
be
a
a
good
year
chance.
younger than Clayton Kershaw's kid. Excuse me. They had the same exact conversation about Kershaw's kid on Effectively Wild like a month and a half ago.
You realize that 2034 is going to be so weird, like a kid born in 2016. I know that comes up all the time, but like a kid born in 2016 is going to be on the Indians. Or, yeah. Even if it's not Jason Luckhart's kid, some baby that was born this year is going to be on the Indians somewhere, and it's just weird. I'm still not used to getting older.
I mean, we're gonna get to the point very soon where we're gonna have players, in the NBA or whatever, who were born in the year 2000. I still remember that Randall Cobb is the first person born in the 90s to score a touchdown in the NFL, and I'll never forget that about Randall Cobb.
What a weird thing to remember about him.
I know, right? But yeah, we're 2 years away from an NBA player being in the NBA and being born in the year 2000, and then we're probably 4 for the NFL and probably baseball too.
Yeah,
creepy. Time, man.
We're all dying slowly. These dang kids taking over. So our last one, I'll just ask this and sit back and let Merritt answer it, and I don't know what he's gonna say. At ES Turner 13 wants to know, what do you think of Abel Monte's role will be, and what do you think his ceiling is? Seems like he's got a solid bat. Merritt, what do you think about Abel Monte?
Definitely, I don't know. I think he's a realistic, probably poor man's Kenny Lofton. I think his absolute ceiling, quite honestly, is because what did he hit last year? He hit like 260 with like a 310 on base percentage or something like that. He struck out 42 times and walked 8. I'm doing this. I wrote about him so many times in the last month. Jesus, I gotta stop.
I think it's like 3 times.
No, I literally, I'm going to do another one this month too. I'm gonna start doing an article a week about Abel Monte. It's gonna start to get weird. I think his absolute ceiling is probably like a 275, 280 with like a 320 on base percentage with like, I don't know, he could probably pop double-digit home runs, by which I mean 10. And then probably another, decent. I think he'd be exactly a league average hitter and slightly above average glove, working out to a 2.5 win player maybe. I don't know. I'm high on him. He's still only 27. He's never had a full chance to do anything in the majors, whether it's because he has to play in a ridiculous stadium like Petco or Safeco, or because he got suspended for possibly doing steroids.
Nice phrasing there.
Well, I mean, who's to say what happened? It could have just been a tainted sample or something.
It was just a bagel. It had
whatever. Yeah, exactly. He's eating a poppy seed muffin. Yeah, that's all.
Right.
No, I think he could be something like that, though. His strikeout to walk ratio was much better in 2015 than it was in 2016, and when he was with Cleveland, it was basically 2-1 that year. So I think that probably what he did with Cleveland for those 51 games is probably what his ceiling could be for a whole season. That's 264, 321, 455. He hit 5 home runs, another 9 doubles, 5 triples. So, something like that.
Yeah.
Again, poor man's Kenny Lofton, which isn't bad at all, really.
Brittany, do you like Abe Almonte quite as much as Merritt does, or are you a little...
Yeah, I actually don't know that much about him, so I'd have to say no.
So just know that Merritt is... I wouldn't be surprised if he has a poster of Abe Almonte just somewhere. Several of them in his house, just sort of hanging around, so...
It's a picture frame now, yeah. That's right, yeah. The utility outfield of the Indians, my favorite player. There he is.
In like 2 years, nobody's going to know who he is. And you're like, that's Abe Almonte. He was almost
Old
average
Abe
that 1
Almonte.
year.
He was almost average.
Hey, for 51 games, he was slightly above average, all right?
I remember when he first came up.
Mm-hmm.
It was right after the Indians did their like franchise 4 players. And there was like a graphic, and I changed them all to Abe Almonte. That was...
Changed it. Yep, franchise 5.
Yeah.
Abe Almonte.
It was just 4 Abe
Franchise
Almontes and Omar Vizquel. That was the 5. So I'd like to point out in the comments, where is it? That Colin Valensic, he says, I feel the same about Kip. Have the Indians ever had a captain? It would be someone like him warrant the title. Take that, Merritt, quite frankly.
Well, I agree. What? What? I'm just saying you'd also fit in very well. And, I mean, listen, it's the NL Central in particular is very incestuous. You're going to see at least some of these players end up on a different team in the NL Central.
No, Kip is going to be Indians.
Omar Vizquel works for the Tigers, for God's sake.
And didn't he play for...
I think he played with the Tigers for a
He
while.
played for the White Sox at one point.
He did, yeah. And Jim Thome works for the White Sox.
Jim Thome also played for a bunch of teams after he left.
He did.
It's still weird to me that he has a statue. I love Jim Thome, but aren't statues supposed to be like lifers or really close to it?
I mean, he was there for a long time. He had a lot of home runs and, more than anyone else. And he was awesome. I mean, it could have been someone better, perhaps Albert Bell, but...
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
You'd
love that, I'm sure.
Oh, hell yeah.
I want to get the one of him, like, after he pushed the guy in the bases and just his face
when
right
you
after
struck
that.
Him? Yeah. You got him to call him Joey. That's one of the greatest moments in Indians history.
That should be a statue. So that's the majority of our show. Well, it basically is our show, so... So, Brittany, what are you going to be up to? Are you still staying down to spring training for a while, or are you done after those couple of games, or what?
I actually fly back to Colorado tomorrow, so unfortunately I was only able to watch 2 games.
Was it still fun, though, I'm still so jealous. Like, I don't even like spring training on TV, but the thought of going there and seeing, like, major league players in a minor league atmosphere is really, really cool, I think. So.
Oh, it's so awesome. It's just so cool because it is a lot more laid back. I mean, I know spring training is still serious, but, I mean, the fans fans are all down there. It's not jam-packed, the stadium isn't sold out. It's really, really laid back, and all the players still come up to the side, and they'll, like, be signing people's autographs, and it was really cool. It was definitely something I was glad to experience while I was down here.
Cool. So, where can people find where you write? I know you do. You did a picture stuff for us, which was awesome. Do you write anywhere else?
Right now I write with SB Nation Switch Appeal blog, so that covers a lot of like women's college and professional basketball. I don't know if you guys are basketball fans or women's basketball.
I'm a huge UConn women's fan. Yeah, I'm from Connecticut. God, they're amazing. Have they won 106 yet? They won 110 by the end of the year.
I know.
They're unbeatable. God, they're amazing.
So I write there a lot, but that's where most of my work is. And then of course, whenever I contribute here, you guys can read stuff. At Let's Go Tribe, and we'll see where else I end up. But that's about it right now.
Cool. We hope to see you around more.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Merritt, where's your crap at?
Man, Connecticut won 100-44 today. God damn it.
Where are your A. Belmonte fan posts at, Merritt?
I remember this garbage website, which is a lot of fun. You can read my writing most of the week. It pops up many days out of the week. You can also find various podcasts I'm on, including Mostly Baseball, podcasts about baseball mostly on iTunes. Search for it on Google. I'm sure it'll come up. Will it come up? That's a good question, actually. And then on Thursday nights, I am on a radio show called The Knockout on the Scorespace Network, talking about baseball mostly. It was originally an all sports podcast, but it turned into a Milwaukee Bucks and baseball podcast because of the host. It's very weird. But yeah, that's where you can find me. Follow me on Twitter at Merritt Rolfing. Send me an email or don't. I don't know. Whatever.
Cool. Well, we'll talk. Everybody, we'll talk to you next week. This is where in the imaginary world of post-editing, the music's going to start. So in a little bit, we'll fade out. Thanks for listening. Talk to you next week.